Now at 10, grieving students left with more questions than answers after a classmate dies from gunfire.
How many does it take?
Colorado battling the fentanyl crisis. Now a controversial bill to allow safe injection sites moves forward at the state capitol.
After our shot of snow today, I'm keeping an eye on our next chance for wintry weather.
Plus, Colorado to get billions of dollars to invest in clean energy.
To jumpstart both the supply side and the demand side.
How it might impact you. The news starts now. And thanks for joining us tonight on CBS News Colorado at 10. Want to take a moment to mention things do look a little different on the screen tonight, and you may notice a name change as well.
Yeah, we are now CBS News Colorado on air and on our streaming channel. The new look, the new name, it's all reflective of our continuing commitment to covering Colorado and serving your community. We want to thank you for being a part of it with us tonight. And we, of course, are keeping a close eye on our first alert weather. It's part of our promise to keep you up to date with what's taking place in your neighborhood. Tonight in Denver, all is calm after seeing a few flurries. The snow moved in later than expected, which was good, of course, for everybody heading home this evening. Snowfall was a little heavier in the foothills this afternoon, but within the last hour, our Lookout Mountain camera was catching a mix of snow and so much fog. Check that out. First alert meteorologist Dave Aguilera tracking this system for us tonight. Dave?
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, wasn't a big snowstorm, but enough to grab your attention a little after most folks were already on the roads out there for the afternoon rush, so not bad at all today. 28 degrees out there right now. Here's the latest satellite and radar. We've got some clouds around, and here and there are a few flurries. That little blast that came through right at the tail end of the rush hour, it's way up here in Julesburg, Holyoke, and Sterling. But when it did come through, it dumped just about a trace to an inch of snow from Denver up to Fort Collins. So really an under producer, if you will, going on. Now, as we look out west, there's another little batch of moisture coming across the western mountains here. So I wouldn't be surprised if overnight tonight we get a little cloud cover and maybe a flurry or two about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. These are all clouds here. But as that pushes through, we'll start the day cloudy tomorrow morning. So I'm not looking for a whole bunch of snow out of that. And I think it'll all be done by tomorrow morning. So no problems with the morning commute tomorrow. Now, stick around. We've got another snowstorm coming our way before we get to Saturday. That one might have a little accumulation to it as well.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Really a tragic update tonight as the Denver East High School student shot while leaving the campus 2 weeks ago has died. Luis Garcia fought so hard to survive. His family telling us he was taken off of life support this afternoon. The senseless act of gun violence has sparked calls for action among the East High School students. Police have still not released any information about suspects or a potential motive in this case. CBS News Colorado, Colorado's Marissa Armas has been in close touch with the students at East since the shooting. And Marissa, they're angry that they have to fear for their lives when they go to class.
That's right, Jim. This community is tired, and they say that something needs to change because this isn't the only violent situation that's happened here. If you take a look out here, you can see a memorial has already been set up. Many people dropping off flowers, even a soccer ball. And earlier today, I spoke with Luis Garcia's brother Santos about their final goodbyes.
16-year-old Luis Garcia will never play soccer here again.
Lost. Just lost.
His older brother Santos reminiscing, hoping to find solace in the memories he's left with.
Getting ugly haircuts and crying because I thought I looked bad. He told me he was going to get the same thing because he saw that I felt bad.
Just over 2 weeks ago, Luis was shot while sitting in his car outside of East High School. After days of fighting to survive, his family taking him off of life support, surrounded by loved ones.
It's like a nightmare to hear all the people you love and you care about crying.
Teammate Clayton Thomas says Luis was a hard worker who was caring and loved his friends and family.
Luis was always one to put in extra effort and always do more than any other player on the field. He would always wake up early to train.
Many are wondering how and why this could happen.
And it's not fair for kids to be shot at school, where in a place where we're supposed to be learning, we have to worry about dying.
Tonight, police are still searching for a suspect. The community now asking for action from the school board and lawmakers.
How many does it take?
Santos simply sharing these final words for his little brother Luis.
Que lo amo.
Now, the family has set up a GoFundMe account to help with funeral expenses. Students are asking people to stop by tomorrow here at the E to drop off flowers. They also have an event happening on Friday in wake of all of this violence. And police say that if anyone has any information on this crime, to contact them or Crime Stoppers. In Denver, Marissa, Armas, covering Colorado First.
And Marissa is our CBS News Colorado community journalist committed to covering the big issues impacting the city. You can always support her coverage by sending her story ideas through our tip line or by heading online.
Colorado is soon getting billions of dollars to boost its clean energy infrastructure. This massive announcement came from the Environmental Protection Agency today. It says we are better positioned than many states to put this federal money to good use. Gionet with more on this tonight. Now, and this means a lot of new projects for our state.
Yeah, it could. This could be really a big change for a lot of us. What this $13 billion means is incentives to expand the renewables industry, the reduction of carbon output, but hopefully the creation of jobs as well as opportunities eventually for people to make changes in their own homes. Holy cow, that's a lot of stuff. This is the back of the home where Sekar Paladugu lives in Denver. Boxes of things and odd-looking contraptions.
It is an air source heat pump. It is working like an AC in the summer. It also heats our whole house. There's no more furnaces.
Enough to warm him and his husband on that day when it was 13 below. I mean, there's quite an industry here.
Yes, yeah.
There's a lot of jobs here.
Yeah, 5+ types of contractors were at my home over some time.
It's going to unleash a new wave of new energy manufacturing in this country.
Kerry Hayes, who heads one of the country's biggest solar panel companies, says the Inflation Reduction Act is an exciting moment for the industry.
The IRA represents an enormous opportunity to jumpstart both the supply side and the demand side.
At a solar industry conference downtown, there were people thinking about opportunity.
It's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more on roofs. It's going to be a lot more in communities. It's going to be a lot more large 1,000-acre facilities.
The opening of facilities to manufacture solar panels in Colorado, though, is a longer reach.
It's not super high on our list currently because of wage rates, labor rates, demographics, and supply chain.
Incentives and rebates, though, made Sekar's redo happen. He's now making power after his bills previously peaked at over $650.
Plan ahead and make the change that's better for the climate, better for the long term, better for your bills.
Now, this money will come in from the federal government to the state, which will oversee applications for people who come to the state with big plans for things that might create climate change. Eventually, though, it is believed that there will be money there for people to potentially change their house and change their energy systems in their house. And there is a large portion set aside for underserved communities in both urban and rural areas of Colorado, places where hopefully people can be assisted in making that change and maybe get some jobs out of it. In Denver, I'm Gionet, covering Colorado First.
Two bills we are keeping close watch on at the state capitol are moving ahead. One related to drug use, the other offering protections for renters. The Overdose Prevention Center authorization bill passed out of committee, now goes to the full House. It would allow cities and towns to have safe injection sites, also called overdose prevention centers. People could use drugs in supervised environments with safe needles and medical support on hand. Supporters say this will save lives. Opponents say it's only going to encourage more drug use. Another bill to protect renters passed out of committee today also goes to the full House. Under the just cause eviction policy, evictions would be prohibited unless a tenant fails to pay rent after receiving written notice or commits a substantial violation, refuses to sign a renewal contract, or refuses to allow a landlord to enter the property. Also requires landlords to give 4 months' notice prior to eviction and pay a tenant 2 to 3 months worth of rent if they've been wrongly convicted. The Colorado Apartment Association opposing the bill, saying it would require landlords to enter into endless leases with renters and dramatically increase the cost of our rental housing.
The city of Aurora is asking residents to chime in as it looks to cash in on its pieces of the Broncos sale. That's nearly $4 million, and Aurora wants to put it all towards support to the kids. Tori Mason is reporting tonight that they actually want your input.
The city of Aurora is asking residents to dream big, especially their younger ones and the most creative. Right now, they have millions in funding for youth programming.
Cities that help build Mile High are getting a refund. In Aurora, the millions spent on kickoffs is going back to kids.
Skate park. A lot of people are advocating for the skate park.
Rachel Whipple with Community Engagement says they've already heard 50 ideas, from recreation to more support.
We've heard some other ideas like youth mental health services, after school programs.
They're calling on parents and youth workers for input.
Or even field trips.
But who knows what kids want better than kids?
We think that if we're going to spend money on youth, then they should have a say in how we spend the money.
Imaginations can run as free as they do in these aisles. Sisters Suratmo and Jasmine didn't struggle with ideas.
I would like, in the library, I would like book clubs.
The youngest needs a chunk of the budget.
I would like to see a water slide.
A lot can be done with nearly $4 million. Parents are glad Aurora's spending it on the future.
When they put this money towards them, it's kind of like making an investment to a seed and trying to grow it. When they grow up and see all these things happen to them, that they can contribute more.
And the city says no idea is a bad idea, but the deadline to submit ends March 31st. You can do that in person at certain libraries or online. We have more information at cbscolorado.com. Reporting in Aurora, I'm Tori Mason, covering Colorado First.
All right, Tori, I love all those ideas. Tori is always keeping an eye on what might impact Aurora residents, and you can always share your ideas with her. Just head online or call our tip line.
Still ahead, stepping up the fight for better mail service in the mountains. Communities banding together, and now they've hired a law firm.
Flurries have died down in Denver, but we're still watching this big southwest storm. It is going to hit parts of Colorado tonight. I'll show you who might still see heavy snow.
Well, the Colorado Avalanche fell behind early in a big way as their young goalie struggled, but a wild second period put them right back in it. Show you how they almost rallied for an incredible finish.
When you need to know, now turn to CBS News Colorado.
Breaking news live as it happened.
Colorado's top headlines every half hour.
Original programming you won't find anywhere else. Big time players making big time plays.
Jamie Leary covers everything, Jeff Cope.
Every newscast, every day, streaming live.
Never miss a forecast. Your first alert weather every 10 minutes. When we know, you'll know.
CBS News Colorado. Stream it now on the CBS News app and on Pluto TV.
We are covering Colorado First for you tonight at 10 as several high country communities banding together fighting for better mail service. They have now hired a law firm as they weigh their next move.
We've reported extensively on the issues that have been going on for months now. Unreliable service, mail taking too long to arrive. Spencer Wilson continues our coverage for you tonight.
Town of Crested Butte has retained Kaplan Kirk Rockwell out of Denver to conduct this investigation on our behalf.
What started out as a threat from towns like Silverthorne, Buena Vista, and Steamboat Springs now has some teeth, or at least baby teeth.
If you went to turn on your water and the tap didn't work, it's that. That's how we think of the mail, right? You go home, you open your mailbox, there's your mail. That's just not been happening for our communities for the past several years.
Right now, the lawsuit is only still a possibility, but towns like Crested Butte are fed up. It's so bad, some people in town have simply given up on the post office there.
It's almost faster to drive down to Gunnison 30 miles away to get your mail.
I actually am picking up packages over in Aspen because my wife has a house over there and they get home delivery. It's only a 5-hour drive this time of year, but it seems to be more quicker than waiting in line at the post office.
That's the former mayor of Crested Butte. He's been fighting for change for the post office for years, like not paying for post office boxes because they don't deliver.
I've paid over $4,000 for the privilege to have to go to the post office and get bad service while people get free delivery at their houses.
He thinks this might finally give the federal agency the kick in the pants it needs to change something.
So we feel like we need to band together to get results, to get support for those employees, to really address these national contracts with carriers that are dropping parcels at our postal boxes and overwhelming our little communities.
Spencer Wilson,
covering Colorado first.
And we reported that Colorado Senators Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper have asked the Postmaster General to come tour Colorado to showcase the issues just like this. No word yet on if the Postmaster will accept that invitation.
Time now to check in with First Alert meteorologist Dave Aguilera. And Dave, we're looking forward to some warmer weather, but you don't see a whole lot coming our way.
Not real warm. Sunday, I think, is a day that you'll like. And then we've got a little more cold air coming our way next week. Downtown, most of the flurries have gone away. We might see a few more tonight. Here again is that Lookout Mountain camera with the fog going by. They'll probably get some flurries going on up there over the course of the next couple of hours as this goes through. You can see it here on the satellite and radar together. A few flurries coming across Park County, Clear Creek County here. Those will move into the city. And as they move, it's coming from the west, so it dries out a little bit, so we're not going to see a whole bunch out of that. Some of our weather watchers had some reports today, although they were small, less than a half inch in Golden from Kelly Harris up there, and in Fort Collins, Chris Rubel coming in with 1 inch of snow. And the highest one I saw was just a little over an inch, so it didn't amount to a whole bunch today. There's another little batch of snow coming out of Grand Junction over into just outside of the mountains around Eagle there, and some of that may make it into the Front Range overnight tonight. Here's the big storm. It's still just barely making it into Arizona here, and here's the track of it's going to go down into New Mexico here. Later tonight, it'll send a shift of snow into southern Colorado here, all the way out into Lamar and Kansas here. That's about 3:15 in the morning, and then it'll continue to drive itself down south of Albuquerque, and then we'll see more snow here in the east. And in the afternoon, it'll just transfer out there. So we could see several inches out there in eastern Colorado while we clear out in the afternoon up here. So we will start with clouds and then finish out with sun. The bullseye for this is down here in the San Juans. They are going to pick up 4 to 8 inches of snow down there. And it looks like about 1 to 3 for some of these northern mountains here, and a little more out there in the southeastern part of the state. So tonight we're looking at 26 in Lyons, 29 in Littleton, 24 in Windsor, mostly cloudy skies out there. And tomorrow Boulder should be about 43, 46 in Fort Collins, and about 41 in Castle Rock. So here's what we're looking at tomorrow in Denver. I'm looking at 42 for the high, morning clouds, and then afternoon sun again. Friday, 45 degrees. It'll be partly cloudy early and then cloud up in the afternoon and evening. Might see some light snow afternoon and evening, maybe about 1 to 2 inches, much like this last one that came through. I don't think that'll amount to much. It'll be gone by Saturday with 43, 53 Sunday, 47 Monday, and next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, each day has a chance of picking up some of that light snow.
Yep, still winter. Thanks, Dave.
All right, time to toss over to Romi. You know, you thought the Avs, you thought they didn't show up, and then they showed up, boy, in a big way, didn't they?
Right. You know what? It's like they never sleep for too long, even if they're a little sluggish early. I'll tell you, right? One thing that's always true about this team, they're never out of it till they're out of it. Show you how a valiant comeback attempt, well, fell just a little bit short. And the Broncos' record, guess what? That wasn't the only big L from last season. Where else they fell short, according to the players.
The First Alert Weather Tracker, tracking the storm and your drive every hour, keeping your family safe. Driven by West Shore Home. Fast, easy, and convenient.
Colorado Sports is sponsored by The Lodge Casino. Enjoy the best variety of slot machines and table games. The Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun.
Colorado Avalanche looking to extend their 6-game win streak to 7 tonight, and a surprise piece on the ice. Colorado traded for Lars Eller this afternoon. He arrived in Denver about 2 hours before puck drop, got to Ball Arena 15 minutes before taking the ice, just enough time to suit up and play. That's wild. Avs a little sluggish to start, and the Devils pounce. Andre Palat scores a minute into the game. Avs end up down 5-1, looks all but over. But here come the boys. Nathan MacKinnon scores a minute and a half after Mikko Rantanen does. 36 seconds after that, JT Compher scores. That's 3 goals in 2 minutes, and it's a 1-goal game. But the Devils come up with a late empty netter, and the almost sensational comeback falls short, 7-5. The final. So let's check back in with the betting lines at BetMGM. Avs don't cover the spread. The over hits big time. And that McKinnon goal prop hits. He had 2 tonight. Well, the NFL Players Association released a player survey today that handed out grades to teams on a variety of subjects, from treatment of families to team facilities. Roughly 1,300 players took part in the anonymous survey, and the Broncos were all over the board. Strength coaches received an A-, implying that Lauren Lando was not the issue in players' minds. B+ is for weight room and team travel. D+ for treatment of families. Players citing that Denver, one of 14 teams that does not offer a family family room at the stadium, and food and nutrition got a D. Expect that to change with Bo Lowry now in charge of player health and performance. Well, Carl Durrell is long gone from CU, but he might be teaming up with a former Buff in Washington. Durrell interviewing to be the Commanders' wide receivers coach, and if he gets it, he'll be working under Eric Bieniemy. Now, Durrell has 10 years of experience as an NFL wide receivers coach, including with the Broncos. Star sighting at Rocky Spring Training. Vanessa Hudgens, star of High School Musical, among other things. Stars on the Diamonds, however. Ryan McMahon, 117 miles per hour off the bat, the hardest hit ball in spring training so far. Chris Bryant, he is feeling it, and Rockies fans love to see it. His second homer in the last 3 games. That one goes to the concourse. Rockies fall 8-6, but scores don't matter. It's spring training. Up next, we got another award for the future star of Buffs basketball. And Becky Hammond knows good basketball when she sees one. Her breakdown of Nikola Jokic and why he's truly playing like a 3-time MVP. Colorado's incoming 5-star recruit Cody Williams adding another honor today, named to the Naismith High School All-American team. Williams one of just 10 players to make that elite list. Well, when it comes to women in sports, Becky Hammond is the ultimate inspiration for breaking barriers. I mean, her resume is full of so many firsts, it's hard to keep track. She is the first woman to be a full-time assistant coach in any of the 4 major professional sports in North America. First female to coach an NBA Summer League team and win a title. First female acting head coach in the NBA. The list goes on. You could say she knows ball. And when it comes to Nikola Jokic, Hammond recognizes all his greatness and says she's seen it since she was with the Spurs, all the way back to when she started scouting the Nuggets early on in his career.
He's an artist. He's an artist, and he uses it with his brain more than any other tool. He's a basketball player that you can't measure his feel for the game. Whatever defense you throw at him, he's just going to make the right play. It doesn't matter. You do this, he does that. You do that, he does this. He just plays the right way, and yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
Aren't we all? You know, that's from one person we're a fan of to another. But I mean, she knows ball. She's been scouting that guy, and she said, this is a player that guys want to play for. They want to be on his team because he's going to make them better. So we need her on the voting for MVP.
She was such a ferocious competitor at CSU. I'm not surprised she's had this kind of success.
Oh, not at all. And she's still so competitive. You can feel that fire in everything she does. That's why she went to the WNBA and won the title in her first year.
Good for her.
And she told me she smells back-to-back. So
Ooh,
get ready, folks. Let's get ready.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no doubt. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning is sponsored by CU Medicine, nationally ranked providers and leading-edge medical advances across hundreds of specialties. Visit cumedicine.us.
Dave, we know we have a little fog out there right now. Is it going to stick around for the morning?
The fog is up in the foothills, so I think it'll be gone. Yeah, way up there. Yeah. It'll be gone by the morning, probably about 9 o'clock or so. So it's going to come in and out up there. Meantime, around here, we're cloudy tomorrow. Sunshine pops in the afternoon. We'll just start the day with
a little more snow in the high country.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
You bet.
And thank you for watching CBS 4 News tonight.
First Alert weather never stops. Get it anytime on CBS News Colorado, the leading 24-hour information source. Always be ready so you can be safe. That's why we First Alert.